Audiovisual translation, also known as multimedia translation, is a specialized field within translation that deals with the adaptation of multimodal and multimedia text into another language and culture. It includes all forms of language transfer aimed at translating the original dialogues of audiovisual content in order to make them accessible to a wider audience. Among the best-known forms of audiovisual translation are dubbing, subtitling, and cultural adaptation. The origins of audiovisual translation date back about 100 years. There is no precise date, and scholars believe that it started between the 1920s and the 1950s, with a systematic and academic development. In the 1920s, audiovisual translation was mainly related to silent films. In silent cinema, key information or descriptions were communicated through textual signs between scenes, called intertitles. These were texts that dominated the screen, separating one scene from the next and providing essential information and explanation to viewers. Translating this type of text, which interrupted the scene and had no sound, was less complex than the techniques used today in sound cinema with dialogue. The advent of sound cinema emphasized the importance of adapting the translation of important movies as audio became a crucial element. At this stage, there has been a significant increase in film production accompanied by the growing relevance of multimedia translation strategies. Among the various modes of audiovisual translation is dubbing. This is a predominant technique in audiovisual translation in which the original dialogues are translated into the language of the target culture, allowing viewers to enjoy the content in their own language without having to read subtitles. The main challenge is lip synchronization, which requires meticulous attention to detail to ensure a proper match between the translated dialogue and the actor's movement on screen. It also allows for a more complete adaptation of content to the cultural context of the target audience, thanks to the ability of voice actors to modulate their performances to reflect local customs. However, this practice is not common everywhere, with smaller countries or countries with less widely spoken languages preferring subtitles for cultural and economic reasons. Another widely used practice is subtitling. That is an audiovisual translation technique that consists of inserting the translations of lines at the bottom of the pictures, while keeping the dialogue in its original audio form. This technique allows viewers to appreciate the original language, accents, and local expression, thus enriching their understanding of different cultures. Another form of audiovisual translation is cultural adaptation, which consists of adapting text, works, or products to respond to the cultural elements of the target audience by transposing cultural references, idiomatic expressions, and puns. A significant example of cultural adaptation is an episode of the anime TV series Pokémon, in which the food shown was modified to be recognizable and understandable to Western audiences who may be unfamiliar with Japanese culture. The study of my thesis was based on the Spanish Netflix TV series Las Chicas del Cable and the translation's analysis of idiomatic expression from Spanish to Italian. Many times it's difficult to translate them, and one has to resort to other linguistic ploys to be able to give the same message in the other languages. The objective of this comparative study between the two versions of the TV series is to highlight the linguistic and cultural differences and the strategies and ideas proposed by the audiovisual translators in the adaptation for the Italian audience. For example, within one episode, we find the Spanish idiomatic expression "Carita de no haber roto un plato," which in the Italian subtitle has been translated as "fare la scenata da Santarellina," even though an Italian equivalent could have been farsi la faccia d'angelo. Both expressions succeed in giving the same message. Another expression we can find in a TV series is Hacer castillos en el aire, which has been translated in Italian subtitles with a literal translation, fare castelli in aria, and is also a saying in Italian. The last example is Somos uña y carne, which in Italian has been translated as abbiamo fatto scintille. And in this case, we can find a communicative residue, meaning the loss of culturally characterizing elements. Since an equivalent idiomatic expression or one with the same meaning has not been used in Italian. To conclude, the analysis of idiomatic expression in the Las Chicas del Cable series highlights how crucial it is for translators to possess solid linguistic and cultural competence to maintain the authenticity and the essence of the series in the translated version.